share my reflections on that subject from a very different vantage point from many of you in the room, you as you're launching your careers, and me at a much later point in mine. Reflecting on the events of this day, you and I are at major milestones in our lives. You're graduating from college or graduate school. I'm retiring, at least partially, or trying, after many years as a teacher and administrator at SUNY Oswego. A poet described graduation this way: a milestone passed, new things begun, dreams are shining as the sun, a goal achieved, a victory won. When you think about it, milestones mark both the passage of time and the stages of our own growth and development. Milestones are the end of one journey, but also a step towards the next stage of life. Our hope is that each milestone will lead to something greater and more rewarding. You have all taken many different paths to get where you are today and have successfully surmounted a variety of challenges that can give you a very special sense of pride. Some of you are non-traditional students who have had to juggle family, job, financial needs in order to achieve your degrees. You deserve special honor. You are all well on your way to understanding both the complications and rewards of reaching your goal. This is a day for reflecting on what has passed and what is to come in the future. I've given this a lot of thought as I look ahead in my own life, and I'm not going to belabor that. But I plan to continue working on projects related to higher education because that's what I love to do. I plan to travel more, read more, exercise more, continue to learn. After all, Aristotle said that education is the best provision for old age. You're beginning what will likely be a long and exciting journey with many milestones ahead. But frankly, while milestones are important, it is really the time between those milestone events that are the source of most of our happiness and fulfillment in life. It is about how we live day to day. So don't wait until you reach your goals to be confident of yourself and your aspirations. The great suffragist Susan B. Anthony struck the same theme when she said, "Sooner or later, we all discover that the important moments in life are not the advertised ones, not the birthdays, not the graduations, not weddings, not the great goals achieved. The great milestones are less prepossessing. They come to the door of memory unannounced. Our lives are measured by these. Therefore, happiness is really not a goal, but a byproduct." Think back on the milestones of your life so far. And I'm only going to mention a few. When you started school, your first date, how did that go? Learning to drive, how did that go? Going to the prom, how did that go? Your first car, graduating from high school, your first paid job, getting accepted to college, playing a sport, traveling abroad, getting an internship, even perhaps being able to drink legally. Some of that makes you happy, I guess. Now think about the possible milestones ahead in your lives. Launching your career, or attending grad school, maybe moving to a new part of the country, perhaps getting married and having a family. But the interesting thing is that the path is never linear. It's full of hills and valleys, curves, unexpected detours, and even dead ends. Plus, there are forks in the road that require thoughtful decisions. Tough choices often lead to hesitation, self-doubt, or worse yet, even failure. Former Energy Secretary and Nobel laureate Stephen Chu made the interesting observation that he had learned more from his failures in life than from his successes. The great danger, he said, is not in aiming too high, but in aiming too low. Unlike your grandparents' generation, you will likely have many different jobs working for many different employers. Your Oswego education has provided you with a host of transferable skills. You will need to be intellectually agile and ready to adapt frequently to new challenges and expectations. In a knowledge-based economy with rapid technological developments, change is inevitable. The challenge is to embrace that change and help guide it. The great reformer and pacifist leader Mahatma Gandhi believed strongly, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. There will be many transitions that require both personal and professional transformation. In a rapidly changing knowledge-based world, it is no longer sufficient to master one skill. It is essential for lifelong learning to help us engage the challenges ahead. The journalist Sidney Harris made a remarkable observation. He said the whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. Think about that for a minute. Knowledge and learning, however, are not the same thing. Knowledge comes from experience, from books, from your computer, your smartphone. In college, you gain experience about where to find the information you need. It's a lot easier for you now than it was for me 40 years ago. But mastering facts is not sufficient. Learning is the ability of the mind to engage information and manipulate it to solve problems in order to innovate or create something new. Therefore, lifelong learning is not a choice, it's a necessity. Your education, both in the classroom and outside of it, has provided you with a diverse toolkit that will help you to achieve the milestones that you set for yourself in the future. The challenge and opportunities ahead will require you to use all the skills from your educational toolkit, and you will need to master new ones along the way. But think of some of the abilities and experiences that you have now that you probably didn't have 4 or more years ago. Gaining analytical and problem-solving skills, understanding all the new information technologies, a broader appreciation of cultural differences, understanding and engaging the flat world that Tom Friedman talks about. How we use the tools in this toolkit that we have worked hard to develop will have a lot to do with the quality of our lives and our ability to achieve the milestone goals that we set for ourselves. Milestones are still very important. When you think about it, they make up the resume of our lives. Many of you have spent the past several weeks sending out lots of them. But as I said before, I think it is even more important to appreciate and focus on how we fill the spaces between those milestones. Most of our lives are made up of the times between events like today. How we occupy that time is both a challenge and an opportunity. The quality of our lives has more to do with the day-to-day than simply with the big events. Fulfillment is not just about achieving a goal, it is about how we got there. I'm a great admirer of Eleanor Roosevelt, who was a major pioneer in her own right. And she said, the purpose of life, after all, is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for newer and richer experiences. You and I are moving into another stage of our lives. The prospects won't necessarily be easy, but I'm really confident they will be exciting. The great opportunity for us gathered here this morning is to make the most of the assets and skills that we have worked hard to achieve. In thinking about my remarks this morning, I came upon a wonderful poem by Tara Cox entitled The Journey of Life. It's very relevant here because it summarizes many of my thoughts on the subject and hopefully sets some interesting opportunities for you. She writes, "Set a destination, but let the path unfold. Let your feet follow your heart. Regard detours and delays as opportunities to experience something new. Turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Find balance not by standing still, but by moving with integrity and regard for yourself and others. Know that you can always get to the next step from wherever you are. Don't be afraid to make an occasional leap of faith, and if you're a person with short legs, borrow some wings. Know that in the sky of your heart, all destinations are reachable. And while you're busy getting wherever you're going, turn around every so often, give whoever's behind you a hand. Expect nothing, be ready for anything, and everything will be possible." So she's advising us to embrace the challenges that will lead to greater fulfillment. Many people pack a bag for a journey they never take. The great philosopher, Wayne Gretzky, made a very poignant observation. He said, "You miss 100% of the shots you ever take." Good advice. Each of you has packed a very special bag. So take the journey, enjoy the exciting possibilities ahead, create new milestones for yourself. Congratulations, good luck, Godspeed, thank you.